Star Wars Jedi Survivor is one of the greatest games I've ever played and one of the best sequels ever made. Trying to follow up on what some people think is almost the perfect game is a hard task, and Survivor, in my opinion, has done just that, taken everything that worked, built upon it, taken in the feedback from the fans, taken that to heart, and worked hard to improve and evolve to make Survivor one of the best Star Wars games ever made. 5 years after destroying the Jedi holocron, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis has parted ways with his friends Cere Junda, Grease Dritus, and Merrin to continue his battle against the Empire as a resistance fighter working under Saw Gerrera. After a mission gone wrong, the Mantis is damaged to the point of needing him to go to the Outer Rim to see Grease on the remote planet of Kobo, where he finds the local population under the thumb of a criminal organization called the Bedlam Raiders. Grease directs into a cave to find the parts he needs to repair the Mantis. While exploring, Cal comes across a High Republic-era Jedi Order droid named ZNA4, or Z. Z directs Cal to complete a task set for her by a master 200 years ago, and in doing so, Cal comes to discover that there is a planet beyond the nebula, free and hidden from the Empire, where Cal and his friends can start over and settle down. All they need to do is get a couple of compasses, and with that, the adventure begins. Many aspects of this game, including its graphics, world, level design, and sound design, are amazing. The environments are beautifully rendered, with stunning details that make you feel like you're really in the Star Wars universe, especially the new sort of hub world, Kobo. Taking the critique of linear levels and small worlds to heart, the team have not made a fully open world, but more of a map with a massive center hub with linear paths leading to medium-sized locations. But it does the job. The locations in the game sure do feel a lot bigger than any of the levels in Fallen Order. The sound effects and music are also top-notch. The music rising, lowering, using classic Star Wars compositions in all the right places, adding to the overall immersion and excitement of gameplay, or emotional story beat. Let's talk gameplay. Jedi Survivor offers a unique blend of action, exploration, and puzzle solving. You'll need to use all of your Jedi skills to progress through the game. The combat system is particularly satisfying, with fluid and responsive controls that allow you to use a range of different playstyles. The biggest part of this being the different stances that Cal can use in the game. There are 5. First, the single blade. This is the one most familiar, an evolution on the combat from the first game, feeling more tighter than the first game, almost as a way to show Cal's growth as a swordsman. The double blade, or the holy shit, Cal's cosplaying as Darth Maul blade, feels really good when you're taking on a large number of enemies, as it can cover a large distance around your body. The dual blades, holding a pair of blades in both hands. This is the fastest of the stances, but also uses the most stamina. Great if you need to take down a couple of enemies fast. The blaster stance, combining a blaster with a one-handed saber, is great for combat in hallways and with enemies at a distance. You basically become a fencing champion that shoots off a blaster shot every now and again. And finally, the crossguard, the stance that feels the heaviest and also deals the most damage. Great for fighting enemies one-on-one. You can equip 2 of these stances at any time, and you can change them whenever you want at the meditation points, which have also had a little overhaul. You can now use these points to fast travel, making going back to planets less of a chore when you don't have to run from the ship to the place where you left off last time. Also, from the get-go, you can complete training missions that do an okay job of teaching you the fundamentals, making this a great starting point for people who didn't play the first. I don't see why you wouldn't, but if you are new, there's that for you. Now, I'm not going to go into much more because really, I feel like this is a game that you really need to experience for yourself. I don't want to go into any more of the story details, gameplay details, because any little thing about this game could be considered a spoiler, as it's also intrinsically linked. But in conclusion, I stand by what I said. Star Wars Jedi Survivor is one of the greatest games I've ever played, and that's just my opinion. But I can't talk about it without acknowledging that the game has had a terrible launch, especially on PC. Launching a game in that state is something I don't approve of and is really a joke. I don't find very funny. I played on PS5 and what problems did arise didn't bother me, and I personally had a good experience. Overall, I can't recommend this game enough. Gripping story, amazing world, and beautiful combat. Survivor is an amazing Star Wars game, and whether you're an old fan or a new one, there's something here for everyone, and I can't wait to see what Respawn does with the 3rd entry. That's why here at One Up, I'm giving Star Wars Jedi Survivor a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for checking out this review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to keep up with everything we're doing. For more Star Wars content, make sure to keep it locked here to One Up Games. And until next time, may all your games be good ones.